You are now tuned into the Making a Change Group's Community Report every Thursday at 10 a.m. on Facebook, YouTube, and CMPRadio.net's platform. Making a Change Group is dedicated to empowering youth, strengthening families, and serving as a community connector for the city of Chester and Delaware County. Thank you for tuning in.
Hey, good morning.
Hey, good morning. Good morning, everyone. Welcome out to the Making a Change Group's Community Report. Making a Change Group is dedicated to empowering youth, strengthening our families, and serving as a connector, community connector here in the city of Chester and Delaware County. I'm your executive director, Mr. Corey Long, along with our program director, Ms. Michelle Jackson. How you doing this morning,
Chester?
How's it going?
Everything's good over here.
So this morning, we want to bring to you just some upcoming events coming in the community, not just for Making a Change, but other organizations that have great things going on. But this week is a special week to us because we have our mentoring sessions. Queens Mentoring Queens was held this past Tuesday, and tonight we have our G's Mentoring G's, which is Gentlemen Mentor Gentlemen. So, Ms. Michelle, if you want to talk a little bit about what was that experience like for you with having the Queens on? First, tell us a little bit about, who was at the Queens Mentoring Session, what the intended goal was.
So, sure. So, like Corey mentioned, we've got our mentoring sessions coming up, and I'm super excited about that. The whole concept was a collaborative effort with GVINE, which is our violence prevention program, and all the other programs that we have as far as our organization. We just wanted to come up with a way where we'd be able to really sit down and have some real chats with our young people and their parents or guardians, aunties, mommies, dads, uncles, guys in the neighborhood, whoever their adult is. We wanted to get together and talk to them and just have some real conversation about some of the concerns that the kids are bringing up to us and the parents are bringing it up to us so that we can work on this thing together. And Tuesday was our first Queen session. It is the first of a series. And we talked about conflict resolution, but we did it from the young person's perspective. And, they asked us some questions about how they can better manage themselves at school and at home and, with their peers. We had 3 amazing panelists. We had Michelle Primo. We had Tara Jones from the CAT Center here in Chester, and we had Manera Hawkins. And they fielded all of the questions from our young people and our adult females, just about things from, bullying and being teased because they're being called ugly to anger management and rage from some of our young people, and just asking how can they best express this, to their parents, to the adults in the room, and to their peers in their environment. So we were able to really dig in a little bit. I'm looking forward to our next session where we're going to be able to, expound more on those questions, but then ask some other questions about how can we best take care of ourselves, and not from a spa perspective where, I think social media and, TV has taught us enough about how to get relaxed. We know how to get massages and pedicures and manicures and, those type of things. But we want to talk about it from a perspective of how do we see ourselves and how can we see ourselves in a better way, at a higher level so that we know that we deserve to take care of ourselves better. So we are going to have some fun. We had some good food. We had some cute giveaways. We're going to have some, going to give away some gift cards when we see each other at our next session with the Queens. We have some cute spa kits that we're going to give away. So of course we're going to have that fun stuff, but we want to talk and have some real conversation. And we're going to plan on doing the same thing with with our G's. But because we had some of the guys there and they have their opinions about how it went on Tuesday, I'm excited to hear that. But before we do, I want to read off some of the other activities that, are happening in the city, in the surrounding community. So I'll do that. And then maybe we'll get a chance to hear, we'll definitely get a chance to hear what the guys thought about their time with the Queens. So we get to those activities. Anything before we jump? Do you have any activities that we don't have, Corey, that you want to mention, or you want to come in on the end?
No, just these ones that we have here. I would like for you to give some information on how people can sign their young person up. If they have a young person that they want to be mentored by Making a Change Group in the TMAC program,
For sure.
How they can connect with us, or just give them a little more insight to what our program is like for mentors.
Absolutely. So for young people or parents, guardians, adults that want their young people to be a part of Making a Change Group, you can go directly to our website, which is makingachangegroup.org. And there is a link there or explanation of all of our programs. There's links for you to get registered for the after school program, which is young people from 8 to 18. Then there's, a link for you to get involved with our GVINE program, which is for our young people that are 14 to 24. So that connects you to all of those programs. And then if you want to be a part of our activities, there's links on the website and QR codes at all of our events for you to just scan and fill out your information and come directly to us. There's also going to be links at our website specifically for our mentoring sessions. So there's still some space for G's tonight. So if you're, an adult male that has some young men in your life between the ages of 8 to 24 that you want to be around some other positive men, or if you want some support mentoring your young person, come out. You'll see the links. They'll be on our website. They'll also be flashed across the screen, so you'll see that information. And then if you're a female adult and you want to get some of our your mentees or your nieces or your daughters or granddaughters involved with Queens, that link is going to be on the website too, and during the live while we're on today. So, and of course, we'll talk more about that for sure.
This afternoon, we'll talk about that, during this segment.
Yeah, absolutely.
This evening, 5:30 to 7:30, just to be clear, we'll be at Toby Farms Middle School for our G's Gentlemen, Mentoring Gentlemen. It's free, open to the community. Come on out. You do not have to be a student at Toby Farms or just in the school district. We are opening it up to the community. If we're calling on young men's fathers, sons, dads, uncles, brothers, homies. Just bring them on out. Just come on and have a conversation with us.
Absolutely. And if you don't have time, if you didn't register, don't worry. Just come out. This is a male-led event, but we will have some support team members in the lobby, just making sure you get registered on site, make sure you get some food, make sure you get in the room. So don't worry about that. We don't want that to be a problem for anybody or anything to stop you. Some other events that are going on. So tonight we talked about our G's Mentoring G's. That's tonight over at Toby Farms, just like we just mentioned, from 5:30 to 7:30. We want to see. Huh?
Yeah, good. I'm sorry, Joe.
Yeah. Then we have a parting clinic that Widener University is hosting tonight between 6 and 8 p.m. And the link will be at our website, makingachangegroup.org, and we'll be flashing on the screen because there is a RSVP that's necessary for that. The phone number and the contact person be linked at our website.
Let me say a little bit about that. So shout out to my man, Jonathan Abdul Rahim King. This is his initiative that he sponsored with Safe Corridors and Legal Aid. So Jonathan Rahim King has been a huge advocate out here for over a decade with reentry. And so this is a parting clinic. They're going to be working with you to facilitate your pardons right there on the spot. Also doing away with your fines and things like that. So that's also going on from 6 to 8 tonight over at Widener University. Go ahead, Shelly. Something else?
Yeah, great. That's going to be helpful for a lot of folks, males and females of all ages. We have the Healthy Kids Running Series, and that's going to be hosted by the Tripoli Foundation, and that starts on April 24th. There's a link for you to get registered. The event takes place at the Subaru Park Stadium for the Philadelphia Union, and it runs throughout the month and into the summer. Queens Mentoring Queens, our next session is going to be on May 12th at Toby Farm, so don't miss that. It's going to be, like we mentioned, great panelists. We'll hear some more opinions or feedback of how that went on Tuesday. Got a tennis clinic that's going to be taking place at Chester Park at the tennis courts. It's for 3rd through 6th graders, and lunch is going to be provided. Registration, it starts on May 7th, so we want to make sure you register soon so that you can get in and get your young people, in place to start learning the basics of tennis. We have free public tennis courts at 2 of our parks here in the city, so please do not miss this opportunity to get this free clinic, because this is a sport that young people or people are able to play by themselves in a group. It just leads to a lot of fitness, fun fitness. It is a very affordable sport to play, when you're playing on free courts and those type of things. So make sure you take advantage of that. And then there is a huge career fair and community resource opportunity that's coming up on May 14th. That's going to be held at Chester High School on Saturday, May 14th. It's for young people and adults all the way to seniors. There's going to be access to organizations and businesses that are going to be ready to hire on the spot. That's going to run from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. There'll be a hot breakfast that starts at 9:15. We'll have light refreshments after it's over. There'll be raffles, giveaways, all that stuff, that Team Mac and other community organizations are known for. So the fun stuff is there, but be there, be ready, get registered so you can come, put your best foot forward, and, have the opportunity to get hired right away. This is just an awesome opportunity for everyone in our community to take advantage of.
Yeah. One thing that I'm really, proud of is seeing the amount of job fairs that's taking place right now in the community. There's a lot of jobs out there, and there's a lot of people working together trying to get folks those jobs. So I'm really excited to see what's happening on that front.
Absolutely. And one point about that, Corey, for people who are seeing these job fairs and you don't feel ready, link up with us, contact Making a Change Group, find out where we can help you with that. Not just us, but other organizations that are ready to help with resumes, help with some practice interviews. Don't be, afraid to reach out to us so that we can find out what your needs are, find out where you might feel like you're not ready, and let us help you get ready. So when that day comes on May 14th, you are on it. You walk in and you've got the confidence and the resources like your resume and copies of that and some talking points so you can go in and get the job that you want. And we're not just talking about jobs that are throwaway. We're talking about careers here where you can build your career and get in and move up.
Absolutely. Yeah. You have any more?
No. I want to spend some time, if I can, to talk to Josh Shockley and Richard Bender. They had the opportunity to be our support team on Tuesday, and I want to hear what they thought, how they thought things went with the Queens from a guy's perspective.
Awesome. Good morning, fellas. I also want to give a big shout out to a few good brothers in the community. C's, my man Tenor Life, my man Tyrone, and my man Paris. Good morning to y'all. Hopefully y'all can come out this evening too to Toby Farm. So So as they switch places, this is Rich Bender, a new case manager with our Gun Violence Intervention Network and Empowerment Program, and Josh Shockley, lead youth development specialist here with Team Mac, working with making a change group. Michelle, could you change the title?
Yeah, I'm going to.
On it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And let's bring Gio in. Gio has been a veteran here with our GVON program. Rich and Josh, how y'all doing this morning, man?
Good. How you doing?
Good, brother.
So, really quick, my name is Richard Bender. I'm the G Vine case manager. I'm here with my colleague Josh. And what I seen at the Queens Mentoring Queens. First of all, it was super amazing. The panelists, there was a sense of pride when the panelists were speaking to these young women, and let me tell you, the instant connection there. They were attentive. I mean, the not only were the students attentive, the young ladies, but the parents were as well. Um, and when Michelle was picking out the questions out the box, you could almost see the excitement from the youth saying, "Man, I hope," you could almost see in their face, "I hope she picks my question." And these questions were really deep and complex. And the way the panelists gave that information and how they related it, you can almost see the excitement from, or the attentiveness from, like I said, from everybody. You can hear a pin drop in there. So that means they were definitely paying attention. The energy itself it was a refreshing energy, because I think here for the first time, well, not I want to say for the first time, but here they have a place where they can be heard. And that's very, very important for the youth.
Yeah.
It's also very important for the adults that were in the room to witness that experience that platform. How can we replicate this in our household? And it definitely was a safe space. It definitely was very professional answers given. And surprisingly to me, you can almost see, like I said, and it ranged from the youth to the adults. The adult wanted to almost ask some questions, maybe, but the most powerful thing I seen there was a young girl. I can't remember exactly her age. I think was no less or no more than 10. And she had a really important question. And I don't want to mess it up. So I think it went more like, why do people think I look mean when I really want to just practice for a test and I don't want to go outside? And man, did that hit us all hard. That from a youth, to hear what she's thinking and how she's feeling inside. And she came up. The panelists invited her to come up, and that young one talked. And when I tell you, her voice was so important, and they answered her question. And you know what? They complimented her on being brave. And I think the next time that young lady goes to talk, she's just going to be even more encouraged. She'll. So I'm going to pass it off to one of my other colleagues, Jill. How you doing, brother? How you doing this morning?
Oh, how you, brother? I can't complain. How y'all brothers doing?
Yo.
Sup with it, my man. How y'all, man? I came on today because we have the G's Mentoring G's event this evening, and to stress the importance of coming out and bringing your sons, your nephews, your little cousins, little homies from around the way, man, that you see need a little guidance, a little help. You know what I'm saying? Grab them up and pull them on up. I mean, I know it'd be a thing with registering. A lot of people ain't really with going and putting all information, whatever. You ain't got to do that today. Just go grab them, come on up and kick it with us tonight. You know what I mean? And sit down and let's have a real dialogue and try to get into these young men's head and see what it is they really feeling and what it is they really thinking, and then try to give them the answers that they looking for. So it's real important that we get into that today, and we need to let them know that we here for them. We need to let them know that we care about them. We need to let them know that we're committed to giving them some type of positive outlook, some type of guidance to a more successful life. We trying to save young men. We trying to help them grow. We trying to help them become more productive fathers, more productive men. We want them to be alive. We're losing too many of our young men out here to gun violence unnecessarily. So it's very important that the men out here start asserting their authority, man, and start taking back our community. We have to start letting these boys know that this ain't what we want. This is not what we're going to allow. And this meeting right here is going to start that dialogue, that open type of dialogue.
Absolutely.
Me myself, I'm real big on numbers, Gio, man. And I think that it's so impactful when we can actually hear how us not showing up as kings is impacting our community as a whole and the world as a whole. So I got some numbers that I want to share from Google. It says 75% of the long-term correctional facility inmates are from father-absent homes. 85% of rapists that were motivated by displaced anger are from fatherless homes. 85% of kids who exhibit behavior disorders are from fatherless homes. 85% of our children who are in state institutions currently are from fatherless homes. So us showing up tonight, it's imperative. It's so important that we grasp hold of this. Those numbers are staggering. They're staggering. So when we hear it like that, and I read something one time, and somebody told me something. I had to go online, right? And I found it on Reddit. It said that the first time that men receive their first bouquet of flowers are at their funeral. We gotta start giving our young kings their flowers, man. We gotta let them know that we here, that we love them. And this is a perfect opportunity for all of our young men, all of our kings that been around, that know some things, that been through some things, that got some genuine love and care to give to our young kings. This is the perfect opportunity to come out. Come out even if you don't have a young man to bring with you. Come out there to be there because you are a king in our community. And if you do have a young man to bring with you, bring that young man with you. If you got 2 or 3 of them to bring with you, bring them with you, because it's so important that we really get back into our families. We really get back into our households. And we know that, coming up, especially in our community, we got a lot of fathers that's not in a home, family, moms and dad is separated. That doesn't mean that we can't come together as adults. That doesn't mean that we can't come together as parents, because at the end of the day, we all grown and we all know that we got a job to do. So let's really genuinely start doing that job. So I'm super excited about G's mentoring G's tonight. And I just can't wait to get there. I'm excited to see some of the questions that our young men can ask anonymously. And I think it makes them feel safe to be able to ask those hard questions that they might not have asked their dad, or they might not been asked to their uncle or to their grandfather. But tonight is the opportunity for them to come out to ask some of them hard questions. And we want the hard questions. Yes. We want those questions that have been on your mind all year. Why does dad do this? Or why does mom do that? Or how can I do this? And how can I do? We want those hard questions so we can answer them in a safe environment where it's just us. And we could be raw and we could be real with each other as men.
And Josh, that's another thing I want to emphasize, that we're carrying over from the Queens Mentoring Queens and to the Kings Mentoring Kings, is that this is a safe environment. All right. This is a place where you can come, you can be heard, you can be validated, and we can grow. Now, we're gonna have an experience where sometimes we might not have an answer. That doesn't mean we can't find it together as men. You know what I mean? But going back to kind of what Josh was hinting at earlier is that we're being kings again. We're going to take our spots and be elders. I'm not going to let somebody else that doesn't have that experience guide these young men to the wrong direction. I'm taking my spot as an elder back. We all are, and we hope that you come. Once again, bring your children, your nephew, your friends, someone who's in an environment that needs that help. Just because a youth doesn't speak doesn't mean he's not saying something. He wants to be heard, and we got to bring them in. We got to show them, like, listen, they're gonna have outbursts and whatnot, but you know what? They're secretly saying, I need someone's attention. Please help me. Absolutely. And that's what we're here to do. And I think it's going to be a blast, man. I think it's going to be awesome.
Also, if you never really looked up Making a Change group, like, genuinely go look it up. Like, I could speak for all the men and women that's a part of this group. Is we really here. We're really showing up. We really want to help. We really want to be there. And we have so many resources and so many outlets. So if you haven't genuinely looked up the website, if you haven't genuinely, researched Making a Change group, go do it, because it's happening right now in our community. And you have young kings, you have young queens showing up every day, making a change. And we genuinely want to help as many families as we can in our community. And we're here. We are here. I'm pretty sure if you ran into Gio out on the street right now, you needed to talk to him, he's going to talk. If you ran into me, you ran into Rich, we're going to give you that time, because we understand our role in our community and we know what we're trying to do. So please, if you didn't research, go on there, look at Making a Change group, start following us, and really start showing up to these events, because they really are community-based and they are for us.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Use these resources. They're there, There's no more excuses where, Chester don't have that no more. No, it's here. It's here. We're here. G-Vine and Team Mac are here, and we're here to stay. We ain't going nowhere. Absolutely.
Definitely here. And we definitely working, and we're definitely trying to change the tide of gun violence out here. We're working with them with the G-Vine program. We're constantly working, trying to bring families together and uplift them with the Connected Visions program. We mentoring and whatnot throughout the Making a Change group. So we're really working, and all people have to do, the most important thing and the most important message is involvement. These programs cease to exist when you don't show up.
Yes. You cannot show up and then complain.
They're here now.
Yeah, you cannot show up and then complain.
You have to come, because then that's how funding works. That's how it works. It works with participation. It works with people coming. It works with people engaging and taking the benefits of the program. If people are not coming and they're not engaging, this money dries up. These opportunities dry up. So we have to be involved as a community. When we have all these things, we need to come out in numbers and really participate, especially if we're trying to affect change. We really have to participate. Parents, you really have to go get your kids and bring them.
Gio, that's a really good point.
You don't have to call them and go get them, and bring them.
I wanted to add to that, a lot of funding, a lot of things stop being free once you're over 24 years old. Okay. And at that time, a lot of us are just transitioning into a professional area, to a professional realm. And if you're not prepared, those things could be really complicated. And that's where we come in. Take advantage of this. The youth that's out there, parents, if you're hearing this, bring them so that we can have that kind of professional development, so that the young men and women are prepared once they enter into the workforce, once they do enter into being a professional. We're talking now about conflict resolution, trauma informed. The students are, and this is the age group where they're observing, and they're absorbing all this information around them. But not every information is good, right? Just like when we go out to eat, not every food that we eat is provided to us is good. I could go to KFC right now, but it doesn't mean it's good. But a good cooked, prepared meal is more beneficial, more nutrients for us. So the information we're providing is prepared. It's coming from people who have experienced these things, who've had these challenges and found answers. And we're here to give those. And I heard this term yesterday. It was a couple of us men talking, these cheat codes in a sense, right? These ways to handle our emotions when we do talk to our supervisors, or when we are in the conflict, or how to deal with pressure. This is great information. This is the realm we're providing, and take this information while it's still there.
I want to take the opportunity. I want to share something. We ran into a couple weeks ago before spring break. I had ran into two young ladies at the Boys and Girls Club. They were around 15, 16.
Yes.
And I asked them a question. I said, what is it that we can bring to y'all? What are some of the things y'all think about? And I was so amazed and so taken back when the answer was protection. And not just protection from, the boys in school, but protection because women are being snatched up. Women are being kidnapped, and these are babies, right? I'm like, wow. So we immediately went to work, And I took that to Rich, and, you know, we immediately went to work and trying to figure out, you know, how can we protect our young girls? How can we protect our young queens and get them a class, you know, whether it's Tai Chi or some type of martial arts, because it's big. But these are some of the questions that we're looking forward to tonight from our young men. You know, how can we better serve you? What are some of the questions that you really want to ask the old heads in your community that you might not have asked them before? So again, I just want to stress, if it's your brother, if it's your cousin, your nephew, your uncle, come on out.
Absolutely.
Let me ask y'all this, man. You know, and any of y'all can answer, but doing what's right and making responsible decisions and trying to give back has not always been the correct thing or the cool thing in our lives personally as we were growing up. At what point did you all as individuals start making that choice to break that cycle?
Oh, I can go first on that. Corey, what you said, that hits home hard, because doing the right thing isn't always instantly gratifying. And we live in this time where everything's at our fingertips, right? You can even order lunch right now from your cell phone. But doing the right thing isn't always going to pop up and say, you're not always going to feel like, man, I feel good about that. But it's like money in the bank, because as time goes by, you'll see the changes and the efforts that you've made. I remember having a conversation with somebody, and the conversation was like, man, you know what? I don't think you like me, you know, because you always have this face when you come through in the building. And when I was taken back by that, because I said, man, you know what? I'm ahead of the game in my mind. I'm like, I'm going to call this client. I'm going to do this file. I'm going to get ready to prepare for this case. And secretly what it was is I just didn't say hello to this gentleman. In my mind, I had to bury my ego and say, what can I do to make a change in this? So I said good morning to the man every morning. It wasn't until months later on that this person came to me and needed help. And we were able to, you know, get the resources that person needed. And then that continues. So doing the right thing is not, just keep in mind, for anybody listening, it's money in the bank. It will make a change. It will make a change, but it is going to be right there and then. And it's also protecting yourself. You know, we got to learn as young men and women not to always react to something, not always to jump on something. Sometimes we do have to take it back, slow down and breathe and keep pushing, as they say.
Yeah.
But once again, it's money in the bank. It's a protective way, and you'll see things flourish, man. Things happen.
Absolutely. Josh, I want to hear from you, man. We talk about this a lot.
Yeah, for me, you know a lot of my stories. So, you know, one of the things I always tell my young men, especially because it's important for them to hear, and it's important for me not to hide it. You're looking at 10 and a half years of incarceration. You're looking at the young man that hit that brick wall twice. And I always tell people that brick wall don't lose. So the changing point for me was, it's an old saying that says you remember 2 days of incarceration, the day you go in and the day you come home. For my first sentence, that was absolutely true. I remembered those 2 days, the day I went in and the day I came home. Everything in between was a blur. It was fun. We was young, and they made jail like it was this cool thing to be, right? Because you look around and most of your homies are there. I went back for 6.5 years after doing my first 4. I was home for about 10 months. So it was literally, I wasn't even home. My kids are steadily getting older. And I remember sitting in jail and I remember crying. I was like, you know what? I'm going to remember everything. I remember every missed visit. I remember every time I didn't get commissary. I remember every family member that passed away during that incarceration. I remember every time that my son was mad at me, every time my daughters was mad at me. I remember not being able to get them school clothes or cell phones or none of the stuff, or be able to do none of the stuff that a father should be able to do. And even now, still working on those relationships, because I spent 10.5 years somewhere. But that was the changing point for me. When I went back that second time, I was like, you know what? I'm going to get all the hurt and all the anguish that happens in this thing that a lot of the old heads didn't tell us. Back then, it was like, oh, it's a part of the game. You know what I mean? You go to jail, that's a part of it. Nah, it's not. Because life isn't a game. Life is way too short. And man, it can happen in a blink of an eye. Another major changing point. And again, I always share freely. Corey, you know this. Begin because this is a part of my testimony. And major changing point for me. I lost my 14-year-old son, Kwali Shockley, to suicide 3 years ago, May 8th, 2019, 12:25 p.m. And man, one of the things that really hit me hard was time, right? We get up in the morning and we set these alarms. We plan these dates, we plan these big events, and we planning all this stuff. And sometimes it makes us arrogant, right? As if we control time. We do not control time. The time is now. If we want to change our community, if we want to step up, if we want to be the kings and the queens in our community, the time is now. We don't have any more time. We have to do it now.
Appreciate it, Ron. Gio.
I mean, for me, it was my story kind of mirrors the brothers because I've done maybe a total of 14 years upstate. So my story mirrors his, but for me, it was more when I came to the point that I realized that I was programmed wrong. Now I'm saying as a youth, everything that I believed, every moral thing that I stood on, the compass that I was given, it was given to me by the wrong individual. So my whole thought process and everything had to be reprogrammed. So that's when I realized that how I reacted to things, it was based in that realm. It was based in that mode of thinking. Everything I did was based in that mode of thinking that they taught me. So I was programmed to act other than how I was supposed to act. You know what I'm saying? And when I realized that, I knew then that I had to put in the work to reprogram myself. I had to go to therapy. I had to really get into my mental aspect and understand why I was doing the things I was doing. Why that I went to jail. I've been in jail for 5 years. How is it that I'm only home for 9 months? I'm back at it, full blown, like I never left. And then I'm right back in jail. Like I couldn't understand that. I didn't understand what was going on. And that was that programming that was put into me that, like the brother said, this is what we have to do. This is what we have to stand on. We have to understand that we're going to jail. See, it was taught to me as a youth, I'm going to jail. It was all
it's a part of it.
It was already put in.
It was a rite of passage.
Bro, you're going to jail. And when you get there, take it on the chin and whatever else that comes with that type of thing. So it was then that I, like I said, that second time that I realized, I'm like, damn, I'm stuck. I'm stuck in a space where every decision is the wrong decision. See what I'm saying? My thought process was every decision I was making was the wrong decision. Even though it might benefit me in the moment, it was always the wrong decision. However I decided to get money, it was the wrong decision. However I decided to raise my kids and spend time with them, it was the wrong decision. Even though at the moment it was cool because I was making these decisions based in my moral compass and moral value of what I was taught as a youth. So once I reprogrammed that and began to reprogram that, and it's a constant work in progress because I still slip back into, you feel me? Once you're ingrained in something for so long, you have those lapses. So it's a constant work in progress. I constantly
every day
better. Now,
every day.
Yeah, every day.
Every
now
day.
Challenge,
Every day.
It was at that point when I, like I said, I realized that I was programmed wrong. And that's why I really got into this field, because I understand that a lot of the people that follow behind me was programmed wrong because I was programming.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? I was giving them the game that was given to me. And I was influencing a whole generation of people that was behind me because they were seeing me and seeing my exploits and saying, well, yeah, this the guy I want to be. And like I said, the whole time, every decision I was making was based in the wrong, you know what I mean, from the
Did
wrong.
did y'all brothers have either your father in your life or a mentor to help you really, help guide you and help guide you on the right path?
I certainly did. We talked again. Big shout out to my own father, who was addicted to drugs for most of my life. However, is very clean now. And as a king, who I respect and I love and I communicate with him every day. So shout out to my real dad. However, big shout out to John Austin. A lot of people might know him from Chester Children's Chorus. But a lot of people don't know that this man found me in second grade, realized I didn't have a father, and took me into his home. I was privileged enough to live out Swarthmore, go to Strathaven, sing in Swarthmore College Choir, learn how to play the piano. And this was a man from the Filipinos who, when we first met him, had a long ponytail at Columbus and was coming in, and it was like 9 of us. And back then it was Chester Boys Chorus. So I definitely got to attribute a lot of my growth process and my knowledge of knowing that there's better out there to that man.
Yeah. Josh, let's pause right there. And I want to give Gio and Rich a chance to answer too. But, a lot of times, man, we knew right from wrong. And we was in these good programs and doing the right thing around our parents, and then going right back to the neighborhood, getting right back into whatever the neighborhood was in, right? So talk a little bit about your story, how you said you come right off of that chorus bus and go right back to
it was like,
let me make the point, let me make the connection, because a lot of single moms are out there and they think that they got a handle on this because they got their child in a certain sports program, or they got their child in a certain, whatever their activity of choice is, and he's okay. He don't seem to be doing that bad. He's just being a boy. But we do stuff as young men. We be in stuff. We be really in stuff.
I tell you, 2 things that stuck out to me when you just asked that question. One, like Gio said, was programming, right? That's such a powerful word because you're programmed. But 2, so my mom was a single mother of 5 boys and a little girl. She was one woman. Every time I stepped off that choir van to go around my way, it was 15 men. It was 20 old heads that was in my ear. It was 20 homies that was in my ear. So my mom, that one mom at home who was trying to manage 5 boys and 1 girl, she wasn't a match for the 15 other voices, the 15 other men who were in my ear, reprogramming everything that she taught me. So one of the big things that I want all of us to remember, especially coming out tonight, is as much as you change, that does not mean the people around you will change or that they're ready for change. So you have to be ready for that as well, and know that what you're doing is for you first and foremost. What you're doing is to support your family better, to be a better man, to be a better king in your community. That does not mean that everybody around you is ready. That does not mean everybody programming has stopped and is getting reconfigured and reprogrammed. It doesn't happen like that. So I was that kid, it sets you up to live 2 different lifestyles. I was the kid, literally 15 years old, singing in Swarthmore College Choir, catching a van home, getting right off the van, going around the way, and I was completely different. You could not tell that I was just playing the piano and singing Mozart, Beethoven, or Bach in the college choir, let alone that I even know who they are.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's important too, because when it comes to our youth, a lot of them, that's not encouraged to portray outside the household, right? There's a lot of these youth who know Bach and Mozart and who know something, programming, some type of IT.
But just don't feel like it's cool.
They don't feel like it's cool.
It didn't feel like we were talking 2 completely different languages. It's like I couldn't go to my homies and be like, yo, man, I just got done singing Mozart and I had a ball and I'm a tenor in the college choir. And they like, man, we trying to make a sale. What are you talking about?
They weren't trying to nurture.
Yeah, they didn't know how to deal with that. So I'm grateful again, man. Real big shout out to John Austin, who is still working in our community. A lot of our children are probably in the choir now, and but man, he was a game changer for me, because even when I was incarcerated, you know, a lot of the things that he taught me and that he showed me prepared me for that change, that uphill battle, because change is an uphill battle.
Yeah.
And I always tell people change can kill you, whether it's good or bad, right? Because sometimes you're not ready for it. And your body, again, that programming is fighting against what you normally are used to. So again, two things, man, I want people to remember is that just because you change does not mean everybody around you has changed or is ready to change. You have to make change about yourself first and foremost. Change is selfish in a lot of ways. I had to be selfish with my change in a lot of ways. It was homies and people that I just couldn't hang around anymore. Places that I just couldn't go anymore, not because I was scared or I didn't want to. I just didn't need to be there. It didn't fit my new program of being a model citizen, being a father, being a young king in my community to help change.
Absolutely.
I fall under the 85% that brother was talking about. That's fatherless. Like everybody, all my friends was fatherless. We all grew up like that. We had one collective father. Yeah, I mean, shout out to Wayne Tench, man. R.I.P. Mr. Tench, man. I ain't dad, man. He was the whole crew pop. You know what I'm saying? So when we all moved with him. He was like a surrogate for us. But like me, myself, no, I was raised by women. So everything that I learned, see, like speaking to a single mom, I learned from my mom the value of education. I learned from my mom and my grandmom about being a man and acting like a man. I mean, don't hit women, things of that nature. I learned that from them. That was what I got from them. It wasn't enough. When I left out into the world, I got what it was supposed to be, a man from the streets. You see what I'm saying? So that's why this G's mentoring G's thing is so important, because for somebody like myself who grew up with just a mother, and my influences is the William Penn Project, you know what I'm saying? That's my role models. These are the guys that I'm getting my male influence from. It's all bad, you know what I'm saying? So that's why this is so important, because we have to give them an alternative. Instead of everybody they see and everybody they looking up to, every mentor they have is from the street. No, we have to give them an alternative. You know what I'm saying? That's what these boys need. That's why it's so important that we come out and engage them on their terms, man, in their field. I mean, we can't duck them. We can't turn our eyes. We have to engage them.
It's our duty.
And engage them in a manner that they understand.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Get down to their level and let them know what's going on. We need that guidance. I know I needed it. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't have it. So what I did receive, it was not what you're supposed to receive. And that's what most of our young boys is receiving right now. They just out here, the influence is when a problem arises, you shoot it out.
Yep.
I mean, if
it was sad, Gio, you know, like I know, man, we done seen them same young kids.
Yeah.
Because that's out there when that high go down and they sitting in that cell.
Yeah.
And they realize, like, yo, that's not what I wanted to do.
Yeah, see, and at that point it's too late. That's why we trying to catch them beforehand. That's why GVINE is the Gun Violence Intervention Network and Empowerment Group. We're trying to get it before it happened. We're trying to intervene and stop it before it go. After it happens, it's kind of too late for us to help.
Yep.
The damage is done. We trying to grab them before they set themselves up on that road that you and I took. We trying to
that brick wall that doesn't lose.
Trying to guide them away from spending years in prison for things that they didn't have to do, that they didn't even understand why they were doing them. That's the most important thing. We don't even understand why we're doing most of these things. And we got to give some type of understanding, especially in our older age when we really lived everything that they're living currently. We previously already did it. So we already know all the outcomes. We already know what happens when two people pick up guns. We already know one of them is going to die. We already know the other one's going to jail. We already know that has just impacted two families, complete families.
Yeah.
And those two complete families have rippled effect and affected the whole community. We understand this.
Yep.
So since we understand this, it's time to come out and really engage and really get in our young men's lives, get in their lives, man, and help them.
Absolutely.
They need it. They asking for it. They begging for it. And we listening. Get
Absolutely.
your sons, get your nephews, get your cousins, get your young
Come
brothers,
on out.
young homies from the hood today. And
Toby
bring
Farms.
man, we're gonna feed y'all, we're gonna sit down, we're gonna have engaging dialogue, we're gonna have mentors there, we're gonna have brothers that done been through the struggle, brothers that done been to prison and came back and rechanged their life and modeled their self into productive people. These are the people that your sons need to talk to, the people who really walk that walk and really can tell them what's about to happen. So,
And an opportunity for them to meet us as well, for the parents, for the fathers, the uncles, the grandfathers to meet us. And because you should want your young kings to be in this program. Like seriously. Like you should want them to be around kings that's going to constantly be feeding them positivity, giving them edifying information. It's time. Like it's genuinely time for us to really get this thing together. We have a beautiful team, a beautiful structure. We have great resources. I keep saying that, like, please, man, go check out the website. It's so serious. Like this is so serious what we doing.
piggybacking off your time thing real quick.
Yep.
Corey always stresses it. Now he put it in my head, and I stress it to everybody how important that time is. We don't have it to waste. We don't have time to sit around so one of our sons can get killed out here tonight. And tomorrow, we don't have that type of time. We don't have the time to wait for this stuff to happen. We got to engage right now. So the time is imperative. The time, like you said, the time is now.
What's that old saying? When you know better, you do better. We know better now. We know it's a program out here that's working, that's been around since 2004. We know that we have men that didn't just come out of nowhere, each to blip, that don't know anything. We got both education and street smarts. We know that it's a team set up for our young queens and young women to be able to come to and talk. We know that we have safe environments now. We know that we have these resources. We know that we have this in place.
Yeah.
There is no excuse why we shouldn't be acting right now.
Yeah.
There's no excuse for any man that's watching this, any woman that's watching it that hasn't visited our website, that hasn't seen our upcoming events, not to go on there after this, research that, look to see what you could do to be a part of this community. The time is now. There's no more excuses.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We appreciate, man. Look, I appreciate y'all brothers, man. It's an honor just to be working with y'all. Shout out to Tamika Gibson. The website is at the bottom of the screen. It's makingachangegroup.org. You can hit us up on Facebook. All the events that we are either facilitating ourselves or we're just putting out there to the community will be on our Facebook page right after this live. So, but tonight, we're at Toby Farms. We'll be there 5:30 to 7:30. We're inviting all the brothers to come out. You do not have to be a student of the district. You're invited to come out. Just come on out and kick it with the brothers. But if you're not able to make it, you can just connect with us at any time. This is what we do 24/7. You know, we're here. We have a variety of programs for both youth and adults. We have a program at the Boys and Girls Club every Wednesday for children of any school. We have programs at Coosa and Toby Farms on Tuesdays and Thursdays. That's just mentoring. Then we have a Connected Visions program for families. And now we have a gun violence intervention program, you know. And so we have some strong brothers, as you see. We have more than this that are working with us. And we just invite you to connect with us on any level. But hopefully we'll see y'all tonight, 5:30 at Toby Farms, man. Appreciate y'all, brothers. Y'all enjoy the rest of your day.
Absolutely.
Yeah.